As far as I know.
Or do we know?
I move we approve.
Then move that we approve the minutes.
I second.
Second by Bob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Monthly appropriations.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one reminder
Yeah.
while I'm here.
What was that?
Taxes.
Oh,
That one got whited out.
Yeah, somebody signed it in the wrong spot.
What's,
He did it on that one too.
did on all these? Who is that? Your guy from down south?
Yeah. Let me get some white out. Maybe. White out's not out. Well, we're just gonna have to mark it out. Sign
Okay, I
beside
can
it.
do that.
Yeah, just sign beside it.
Can't read that signature anyway, can you know?
speaking of signatures, mine has, since I had that surgery on my nerve and carpal tunnel muscle, I'm losing dexterity.
I've
My
got some,
signature worse.
I'm getting numb. A week from today, a week from yesterday, I go see a surgeon or a doctor about it. My fingers are numb. I'm getting carpal tunnel. And sometimes you can just, like, my daughter had it. She's young, and he gave her a shot in one hand. He fixed it.
Well, that's good.
So I gotta go see. Anyway, I want to see what it says. I mean, it's not that I can't live with what it's, because it's numb, my dexterity is not as good.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd be legal on the new business, I want to talk about the meeting.
Oh, okay.
That way we'd legal to talk about it. Just a tenth all you got, Chris? No, a tenth of an inch.
I'm not sure we got that much.
I just took the medicine out, I didn't look anywhere else.
It didn't look to me like it was that heavy.
It was,
I didn't either.
It was moist.
We might have got 2/10 here,
it
maybe.
was moist.
At least we got a little bit.
Seemed like it got stronger when I got close to 64.
Go sign those minutes for me, will you?
I move we approve.
I
Chris,
second.
we approve, second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to transfer appropriate Highway D1, account to Highway D1 personal service amount at $13,942.85, and Highway D2, CIRB to D2 personal services, $13,942. We just acknowledge that. I do that every New business.
What do you think of,
Chris and I went to meeting.
yeah,
How was that?
We're in deep doo-doo if we don't get something done. It's, and I should have brought that book with me. They went to court and beat us on these wind towers, you know, this,
water disposals.
yeah, saltwater disposal. And it's on the, well, saltwater disposal, that's different. That was, Supreme Court said that it's part of the gross production.
Which is wrong.
What's wrong?
My opinion of that was those attorneys were afraid. They want to pass a buck. Say, yeah, we lost this buck. You know how it is. You need to talk to your legislators. I think we needed it.
Yeah.
Because I asked a guy, I said, is there a transcript of this? Yeah, I said, we got it in my office. You want to come out and look at it? It'll be okay. I know what that costs. You know, my guess is they did not cover that case good. And he did not want to own up to it.
That was the guy that talked to us?
Yeah, Adams, Luke Adams.
Yeah, well, I don't know him. Well, the other one is, they decided that they could not tax, what's the acronym for that?
PC,
PC,
yeah, PCT or something
anyway,
like that.
it's the tax on the wind farms on their,
Ability to produce or
to
something like that.
produce. And the problem is, they promised all the school districts that they're going to get this tax money when the wind farm starts producing electricity. And they don't now. For 10 years or for however long it is. And there are, for example, a good example like Sealing, they passed a new big bond issue to build a big brand new fancy gymnasium. And right now, say their mill levy is 32. Their mill levy is going to double to 62, 64, 68, or a whole bunch, which means their personal property tax is going to double.
I mean, you and I are gonna be paying.
I'm sorry, did you say the windmills don't pay
They're
taxes
not
for
gonna have
10 years?
They're exempt from their power production for a period of time, 5 or 10 years, I'm not sure what it was. But they can't count that as a taxable entity because the government gave them basically a free ride.
And they were going to. I mean, when they come in to sell them on this stuff, say, those schools are going to get. And I think Winoka's is going to nail. You guys got that with
We got 11 towers, and I don't know how many you got.
Well, there's already any, I don't think, in Woodstock, for our district.
Yeah, your school district.
I don't think our school district has any.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
You got the Carmen area, don't you? There's a bunch of them in Carmen.
Yeah.
Your school district does. Because
I think they said
that's
we have
Alfalfa County
10.
and Major County, or Alfalfa anyway.
It affects all of it, but we need to write, and the deal is, it's the way, the problem is, the way the law is written, that it was unintended. In other words, they didn't really intend, the legislature didn't, they've been exempt from this. And it's one word in the dang law, shall or that or something, and I thought what I would do is have that Luke guy write a letter and give it to me, and I can sign it, and we can send it to our 3 legislators. Because he'll know what to say.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've got his phone number, I just haven't called him.
So, during the proposal stage of these windmills, there was probably a lot of discussion about the benefits to the school system.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
now that
that's
it
it.
comes time to pay the piper,
Right.
that's 5 or 10 years down the road. In the meantime, the landowner, the property owners are going to get hit.
You're right.
For the school levies. Yeah. And in some of those places, like Sealing and like all those wind towers down there, and those huge, that's issue thing, you know, it's been, what? Moreland?
Yep.
And on top of
Yeah.
that, like, okay, at Moreland there, they went in and put all new generators on all of them, on those towers. They're exempt for 5 and 10 years. And it's a major deal.
Well, it's gonna cut their revenue distribution down by 70% in some
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Say that
70%.
again. What's that? What's gonna get cut by whom?
The tax collection is going to be cut by 70%
That's the one.
on having home taxes. And these people have passed bond issues thinking that the wind power companies were going to pay their part. Now they're going to get chopped by 70%.
Well, somebody dropped the ball. Some, or
Legislatures and the law, and the smart lawyers for the power companies picked them all up, figured it out.
so was all this, whatever, negotiated on the front end, all this? Or is it something
Well, it
that's
was
come along?
just, they've been exempt forever, but there was just it was a appeal of the tax, and the courts held that the power companies were right.
Did it go to the Supreme Court or the state?
The Court of Appeal.
Court of Appeal.
And the Supreme Court wouldn't hear it. It's my understanding.
Yeah, which means it's okay, yeah, they're right.
Yeah.
And the problem that we saw was there were 3 counties that ruled in the favor of the tax people.
Well, that was on the water line.
Saltwater. But there was one judge that ruled in Alfalfa County on the other side for the oil companies. So it goes to the Court of Appeals. And I think at that point in time, just my opinion, I think our attorneys dropped the ball. I don't think they argued that case correctly.
It could be, I don't know.
Because anytime your tax assessment leaves that section, it was like a 640 acre spacing, anytime it leaves that, you're on your own, you're taxable. Well, they agreed that, well, you could have 30 miles of pipeline going to a saltwater disposal, and it was exempt, that pipeline was exempt. And the saltwater disposal line was exempt, or the plant was exempt, based on the fact they're paying gross production tax. That's very incorrect. And the reason why it's incorrect is the liability clause of it. If you make that statement that it's not taxable, you put the non-working interest parties and the royalty parties, you put them in jeopardy of liability of that saltwater disposal land. Because you exempt them and said, well, okay, you don't have to pay tax on this. And at the same time, the liability of that passes on to, if you don't pay taxes and you claim that you're a part of the working interest or non-working interest in that section, or even a royalty, then you're liable then for whatever happens at that disposal plant because you claimed ownership of it.
Oh, my.
Yeah. You know what happens when a disposal well gets sued for increasing the pressure and causing an earthquake. There's a lot of those cases on file right now. That just opened up those people behind the pipe and behind the other sections that went to that were tax-free. That just opened them up for liability.
Well, the other thing that they said that surprised me, and I've got to check on it more, that if that well has been shut in for 3 years, it's then, regardless, gets to be taxed.
Yeah.
If they haven't torn it down. Well, you know, on that place out there by, where you rent out there by, there's that big pool, there's 3 or 4 on me, and there's a surface, and none of them produced it. They don't even go up and check them, ever.
Yeah.
And then there's one in my yard, in where I live, and one over another place. There's a whole flock of them in Woods County. And I don't understand why, if that's the case, and he said, well, what they do is they open them up and produce 1 CFM of gas per well in a year, and then that makes them exempt for another 3 years. Well, maybe, but those ones out there on where I am, they've never checked them. I've owned the thing 10 years, and they have never, something like that. And they've never been to pick up down in there one time to look, and they're supposed to look at them once a month.
Was our assistant DA Brian at that meeting?
No.
We didn't have any of our commissioners there either.
Chris and I and Renetta, Shelley, and the superintendent out of schools came for a little while.
Yeah,
And Darren.
And Slater was there.
Yeah, and Winoka School Board member was there. But it's a major deal. It really is. Something in the school, and I think when it hits the average taxpayer in a year, probably about a year before they have to pay the tax again, if it happens, these legislatures are going to get absolutely hammered.
Surely somebody's.
Well, I'm going to
On
get this guy
this.
to write me a letter, and I'm going to sign it and send it to Newton and
Yeah, good idea.
Peterson. Because he knows specifically.
Was Newton supposedly there for a period of
He
time?
was there for, he came in a little late. He didn't hear much of the tax guy, a little of it. And then he stayed there. He was, okay, you were facing, he was behind you, right at the.
Yeah, okay.
And he made a point with it. The only thing he said was, they changed the law to where they got a tax, a different law, a different judge for the appeals process or something. What was that?
Well, what they said, and this was a bombshell to us, is that no longer does our protest go to the district judge. It doesn't. It goes to a special 3-appointed retired judges.
And the problem with that is, they don't even have any rules set up or who's going to do it.
No.
And they've asked just Jerry Askins, he's in charge of it. Have you got it done yet? Have you got it done yet? The legislator that wrote the law. And she said, nope, don't have it done, nope, don't have it done. And so the appeals now can't go nowhere.
It don't go to the district court. It goes to a special.
And they don't even have it set up.
The panel's not been impaneled.
Yeah.
Right.
Gee,
And then you can imagine retired judges want to do that, even spend the time to do it.
that would be some.
Well, they thought, the legislature really thought they were doing something speeding up. They were trying to speed the process up because you know how all these appeals last 5 or 6 years. They were trying to, the legislature tried to do it. They tried to speed it up, it just didn't work. Or hasn't so far.
Well, then the other part, they're limiting Jerry from being able to.
Yeah. And that was all passed last year.
Tasker,
Yeah. Task,
eliminating him from what?
he can't come to our meeting on an appeal.
He can't come and present the evidence to.
About a phone in? No.
Well, we said we might
We
speak to
don't
him,
know.
whether or not he can talk.
Right. I don't
So
know.
they're working on it.
They're gonna find out about that part, aren't they?
Haven't had an appeal yet, so I mean, and I don't understand why, Joe Roaster, he and the county assessor from Alphaba County called Newton and said, for heaven's sake, do not vote for this. And this, because we have to
And he
have,
had a lot of assessors tell him that too.
and he voted for him.
Yeah, he did.
So, and I was supporting him, I don't think I do anymore.
No.
I thought he was pretty weak, really weak.
Yeah, he's a good politician, make it all the, he likes to shake people's hands and pat baby butts, but that's about the size of it, I think.
No, he didn't help out the small community, these
No.
rural areas at all.
The long-term problem is if
That's
these
what
school
we have.
districts like us lose that revenue, then they're going to be dipping into the state fund, because I don't think we hardly get any state fund money
I
at all.
don't either.
So if that is the case, and these school districts that's passed all these issues, bond issues, and have this infrastructure they've got to meet, then they're gonna be dipping into the state fund, which when they do that, they have to, you know, they have to divvy up between all of the state, school, which is gonna hurt the Tulsas and the Oklahoma
Which
Cities and the
means
Martins.
everybody gets less.
Everybody gets hit. That's stupidity.
Yeah, I mean, schools aren't we're well enough funded here now, but all of a sudden, they're gonna make these guys they're gonna die. You know, it'd be,
Big business is winning.
well, and
Yes.
then they vote for they're just being able to transfer into a private school and take your money with you.
Yeah.
Now, in Woods County, I'm not sure that's a big problem. Don't think there's any other schools in the larger towns. But, and I don't know if it'll be very major because tuition to most of those schools is $10,000 or $15,000 a year, and only the very rich people afford it.
Yeah.
If somebody taking $1,500 with it, it's not going to take that. But that's not.
You know, these folks on fixed income, and I'm not talking about seniors, the ones that don't have a homestead.
Yeah.
That don't have that senior discount, that are living, you know, paycheck, paycheck. Somebody on disability that's 40 years old, his taxes double, he's gone. He's
Well, I don't know how much property tax those people pay. This is just strictly ad valorem. So they got
Yeah,
they
the
got
ad valorem is the owners, yeah, all of
The
us
owners, so
that
what'll
own the
happen-
property.
So if what'll happen is the rent people, well, they have to pass it on. So if they're renting an apartment, instead of paying $500 a month, they may end up paying $700 a month. I mean, you're right.
I don't know if our power lines are in the same boat as the saltwater disposal, but if they're not, they will be.
Mhm.
Because those three-phase lines that they laid, I'm
Yeah.
assuming they're taxed, right? I'm assuming
I-
that somebody's paying tax on
they
those
should-
three-phase
somebody should
lines that
be.
the oil companies laid.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in my country.
Yeah,
It should be.
they ought to be taxed, okay? If that is the case with the saltwater, which says, okay, it can be 30 miles away here from the actual production unit, and all that's exempt, what's to keep the power lines?
That's the point.
Exactly.
The exemption thing that they got from the court on I don't remember the abbreviation for it, opened a huge can of worms.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. It translates to every kind of oil company, every kind of non-oil company stuff. They give those tax breaks for all kinds of reasons.
Mhm.
And it's exempt, and it makes it exempt from tax, and then, ooh, doggies.
If you get that guy write the letter, you want the three of us to sign it together.
Yeah, all.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
need to put it in a meeting and
Uh,
sign it. We can have a special meeting if we need to.
He knows, you know the guy really well.
Yeah, I
Why
do.
don't you call him and tell him what we need?
He's not my favorite attorney now, I'll tell you
Well, I
that.
know that, but I know anybody else that I have do it that's comfortable in that deal. And he was a little fired up with it, so I think he could write it, but it needs to be short and concise and to the point. It doesn't need to be lawyery real long.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you know him real well, let's get that done. I think we need to have a special meeting, and that's not an issue. We can do that.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
I
I like the other guy a lot better, this Luke Adams he is the sub,
yeah.
but, you know.
I
Yeah.
can get you Tisdale's number.
Yeah, okay.
I wrote down his phone number and cell number. And he gave it to us.
I got Luke's.
I've got it.
Okay,
At least not your favorite attorney.
you got it.
Well, I've had too much dealing with, we had a railroad case that we went again with, a railroad wrecked, had a derailment, and they weren't wanting to pay anything, you know, and they tied us up for almost 5 months before they ever cleaned it up. So we hired them to do this, sue the railroad, and it was just like, yeah, we just can't get anywhere, and on and on and on, and it was always somebody else's fault. And, you know, in the case of Cherokee, well, you need to call your legislature. They're the ones that messed this up. I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'm sure that's the case, but you guys didn't represent Because you didn't even think about the liability of passing this saltwater thing on to an extended
Yeah,
amount
I
of
mean-
people. You didn't even think about that. And,
Bad deal. So, I move we adjourn.
I second.
I'll agree.
All right.
I'll agree.
Thank